Hello, and today you find me on the Chatham Main Line as a continuation of this Along the Railway Line series. I'm at another seaside resort. Today you find me at Westgate on Sea. And you'll find the station between Birchington on Sea and Margate on the north east section of the Chatham Main Line. Opened in 1871, the station was quite modest, with a single-storey ticket office on the coastbound side and a brick shelter on the London-bound side. Being in a very shallow cutting, the ticket office was raised on a brick bed. A substantial station master's house was however erected, it being two-storey. By 1895, a familiar lattice-style footbridge was built to service the two platforms. The goods facilities were to the east of the station, of which one on the coastbound side provided a dock line. These were accessed by a head shunt some 100 yards further east. Two further sidings were provided on the London-bound side, and control was via a signal box placed beside the level crossing east of the station. Modernisation would come quite late to Westgate on Sea. Significant work would not occur until the late 1950s. At this time, platforms were extended eastward, meaning closure of at least two sidings, and colour aspect lights would be installed in 1959. Freight continued until 1961 and the level crossing and signal box removed in the early 1970s. The level crossing was replaced by another footbridge. The station was mainly untouched thereafter, only the London-bound shelter having its windows boarded up. But this structure would be given a new lease of life, as is seen in the following walkthrough. From the street, this is the view of the station building. It's quite a pleasant little building. There's our Westgate on Sea notice board there. Some information posters for South Eastern. A couple of bike racks. And the entrance to the station, which at the moment is closed. It's only open from 6 until 11 in the mornings, and that's only Monday to Friday as well. Let's have a little look through the front panel. You'll see, I think, hopefully, on the left hand side, that's your booking desk, and a few bits of seating inside as well. There's some nice planters out the front. And then you'll get to your electronic ticketing machine, a defibrillator, and the entrance to platform 2. Moving on down to see an onward travel information board and a platform information board. One nice thing to see though is that the station is accessible. There's a ramp here taking you down onto platform 2, which is the coastbound platform, and that would take you up here into the station building. Although small, it is a very nice looking station building, I must admit. And there's the entrances into that ticket office. One of the best things about this station is the view down the line. I haven't got my zoom lens with me today. Wish I bought it, because that is a fantastic view all the way up towards Birchington. For videography and photography, that's going to be fantastic. And if I spin around, it's just as good in the other direction, with a small little curve taking you out of the station towards Margate. This would make this an ideal place for videography and photography, if a special was coming through. But yeah, it's excellent. One thing of note, of course, over on platform 1 is that waiting area building, which we're now going to have a look at. I do always say it, but coming up here onto these bridges can often give you fantastic views across the station, and this one certainly doesn't disappoint as well. You've got the station building there to your left, and a look down onto the tracks into that old waiting shelter on your right, which we'll just have a look at in a moment. If I spin you around, not so good, unfortunately. You've got the road going across the top there, which does tend to cut out the view down the line. So if you wanted to get a picture down the line, I would imagine platform level is going to be your best bet. Right, so we've made our way down onto platform 1. You'll see another electronic ticketing machine in good working order, which is nice. A map detailing the London Rail and Tube network, because this is the side for London bound traffic. and an onward travel information board, which is very useful to let you to know how to get to those lovely beaches, which are only about a 5-minute walk away. Steps up to get out of the station, but also, as you can see, a ramp, so this side is also fully accessible. Let's go down and have a look at this fantastic waiting shelter, which is at least still standing. Have another nice look at the roof work on this little waiting shelter here. There is a new dot matrix information display, as well as a few more information boards. So as we go around this corner, you'll find the ramp that takes you up to the old waiting shelter. But it's now not a waiting shelter, it is in fact a cycle hub. This is fantastic. Repurposing a building, not knocking it down for another purpose. The only entry is via the key fob, which is a good thing. But if you look in there, it is being used. There's a bike in there. It would be nice to see a few more bikes being put in there because it's dry, it's certainly clean, and very secure. So well done, the South Eastern. That's an excellent addition and an excellent way of using an old building, repurposing it for something very useful indeed. And we'll carry on walking down platform 1, your London bound platform. There's a few planters here. What looks like another entry and exit from the station, so there's plenty of places for you to get in and out. There's another assistance point. And another few outside bike racks as well, so even if you don't want to pay for the service to keep it inside, at least there's somewhere else to put your cycle. There is also a very old waiting shelter. I say very old, I mean, it's probably only 20 years old, but it certainly looks old. But it is somewhere to keep you sort of out of the rain unless the wind's blowing in your face. And another thing to note is it's a very, very wide platform here. Walking back up the platform, I do notice on the left-hand side here are some original Southern Region railings, which look as though they've been fairly well looked after. I see these quite a lot on the Chatham Main Line, and it's very nice to see that at least they're being painted up and well looked after and not being replaced by some hideous palisade fencing or something like that. So another thing to go for this station is this original railings. Looking across to platform 2 from platform 1, you get another look at these lovely buildings out the front here. This one being the old 2-storey station master's house. At the top of this ramp, away from that cycle shelter, you will see another platform information board, which gives you information about how to get to each platform via step-free access. If you exit platform 1 and then turn to your left down the little roadway, you will come to what looks like an X level crossing. Let's go up here. That's definitely looks level crossing-ish. There is a roadway just down here. This now is part of an access point. Information is there. Obviously, no trespass on the railway sign. The reason why I came down here really primarily was not to see this, which is, if that'll focus, there we go, which is obviously an old level crossing, but it was to actually see what the views are like from this additional footbridge. So let's go and have a look. And as I suspected, indeed, a very good view indeed down the line. This is towards Margate. You can see the old level crossing in the foreground there. Nice vantage point. And turning this way through to the station. Again, some pretty good views across the curve there. Brilliant if you had an excursion train coming down, a special train. Even the Belmond, which comes down here a lot during the summer, and some of the spring months as well. You're going to get some very good views from this end of the platform. So just goes to show, if you take a little bit of time just to walk a little bit away from the station, you can find some excellent vantage points, of which this is a very excellent one. Just outside the station there is a parade of shops, which include restaurants and cafes. This one I popped into was particularly excellent, and I would recommend a visit if you come to Westgate-on-Sea. Of course, the main reason for visiting Westgate-on-Sea is to see the sea. Over there you can see Margate, and across this way heading towards Birchington. Both are very pleasant walks, and during the summertime would be a very pleasant thing to do. Just get off at the station and walk either to Margate or Birchington, or even both. One thing to note here at Westgate is that stopping services are provided by Class 375 electric multiple units. However, as you can see, you will see flying fast through this station the Class 395 Javelin. This is quite pleasant to see on the Birchington end of platform 1. There is the footbridge, which obviously isn't the original, and there is the current station building, which looks in a good state of repair. Overall, quite a pleasant station. The statistics for Westgate-on-Sea are that it opened in 1871. It currently, at time of filming, only has one train an hour in each direction, which has increased during the peak times. And the entry and exit figures for 2022-2023 were 129,506. Westgate-on-Sea is yet another fantastic station on this section of the Chatham Main Line. The fact that they have repurposed this ex-waiting shelter as a cycle hub means that they are looking after it, and that can only be commended. It's just a shame that the ticket office isn't being used more, but unfortunately that's the way of the things that are at the moment, and at least it's still standing. The star of the show here, however, are the views up and down the line. It's fantastic seeing both going towards London and away towards Margate, and you should get some good videography and photography at this station. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, comment and subscribe, and if you can, get out there, get on the railway and see where it takes you. Thanks very much for watching.